against him. But what I am so proud to be part of this ticket, I'm so proud to be in a room like this, under a whale, by the way, which is quite awesome, on a Thursday night, thinking about the direction of our country. What I am most proud of is, because of all the things Donald Trump has stolen and all the things he did, what is unforgivable is him stealing our joy. So here's the thing. Kamala Harris is bringing not only solutions that focus on you, she's doing it with a smile and joy on her face. This guy on purpose, and make no mistake, it's on purpose. He broke our political system. He tried to break our faith in one another. He tried to bake the thing that makes Midwesterners stick together. We're positive people. For God's sakes, we walk on water half the year. We have to be. It's cold as hell half the year. We don't care. We dig our neighbors out. This guy is trying to tell you your neighbor's the enemy. This guy's trying to tell you that he knows best about what folks in Grand Rapids need. Well, trust me, nothing could be further from the truth. So here's the deal. We're nice folks. We'll dig you out after a snowstorm. We'll say hi to you at the store. Some of us might even let you merge on the highway. Not all of us. We have a saying for that. It's Minnesota nice, is what we call it. I'm sure you have it too. But the one thing I'll tell you about Midwesterners that stretches across that beautiful blue wall of Northern America here, the one thing about us is, don't ever mistake our kindness for weakness. Ever. So, for all of you in here are teachers, it made me an eternal optimist, but it also made me understand. I supervised the lunchroom for most of those years I taught too. And we can have joy, and we can do things, and we can be nice, but I'll tell you the one thing we're not going to do. We are not going to tolerate a bully in that lunchroom or in our politics. And again, I'm going to go back to this. Kamala Harris has a lot of practice on putting bullies in their place, and the one thing I want to be clear about is, coming back to, no one should have been surprised by how she performed on that debate stage. From her time as a prosecutor, to her time as a county attorney, to her time as the Attorney General of the largest state in the nation, to her time as a United States Senator, to her time as our Vice President. Every day, every single day, putting the American people first. She took on the predators. She took on the fraudsters. She took down career criminals and powerful corporate interests, which, by the way, was on the stage the other night. All those things. So this time, just to be clear, that criminal being on the stage got put in his place. All those things were wrapped up into one guy. And I think many of you recognized she used a wonderful line. He's not dealing with that very well. He's not dealing with that very well. But here's what she did simultaneously. And this is what true leadership looks like. And she says this time and time again, and I love it. A mark of true leadership is not who beats people down, it's who lifts people up. Who lifts them up. So when it's a bully, and there's a time, she proved she can beat some people down if they need it, which he needed it. But for the American people, she laid out a plan for an opportunity economy, a place that's not just a concept. Go to KamalaHarris.com and you can see what's laid out there. Read it. Tell your friends, send it to your relative that you're dreading seeing. Get it out to them. Because you know what? They watched that the other day, and I don't hear them out there much. I don't see them out there much. They're a little bit, because they're good people. They're our neighbors. They're like, that didn't look very presidential. Screaming about eating cats is not a solution. It's not a solution. But what Kamala Harris was talking about is things that you actually care about. They might not be sitting down at the bar talking about banning books, but they might down there be talking about, how can I afford a house? I'm working hard. I'm working hard. I want to have a house. And because that house becomes a home. To some of these folks, you're a real estate mogul, venture capitalist, whatever, that's just an asset to be traded and sold to whoever you want. For us, it's a place we gather around the kitchen table to talk to our kids about what happened at school. That's what Kamala Harris wants for you. That's what she wants for you. She knows that folks are being squeezed on grocery prices, but let's all be very clear here, folks. You know this in Michigan. I'm a Minnesota guy. Those of us who've been on farms, farmers are getting $3.90 for a bushel of corn and barely $10 for soybeans. They're not getting rich. Somebody in the middle's taking a cut for not growing the corn, not processing the corn, not doing anything. She's talking about price gouging that's illegal in 37 states already and should be illegal across the country to gouge prices. And in this country, the richest country on earth, it's an absolute disgrace that folks have to ration their drugs because they can't afford them. Because trust me, Big Pharma's doing just fine. We need to make sure that folks get their insulin at a price of $35 each, get the drugs that they need. And you know what's really interesting? Because Gretchen Whitmer proved it. You can see this. We did it in Minnesota. Kamala Harris wants it for the country. You take care of workers. You make sure folks can unionize. You make sure folks have money. You know what happens when you do that? The economy grows and businesses soar. She wants to make it easier for any one of you. If you want to start a small business, cut the red tape, give you a tax cut, and let you start that dream that you want to get going. And I'm going to go back to this. You did it in Michigan. We did it in Minnesota. She has talked about it. On the first day she's in office and that bill comes over from Congress, she'll sign the PRO Act, making it easier to organize. That ability to collectively bargain. You know, we did something in Minnesota that I'm like, maybe we ought to do everywhere, is we also made it against the law in Minnesota to have employers put you in a room and give you anti-union propaganda. If you're a factory worker, Kamala Harris is going to keep creating tens of thousands of manufacturing jobs right here in Michigan. And by the way, well, the Trump administration, even if you don't count the jobs lost under COVID, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden created 6 times more manufacturing jobs than Donald Trump ever did. And for governors, we got to get things done. Your governor here made it clear, because of what Kamala Harris was able to do, you're able to have your governor show the rest of the country how to fix the damn roads. And that's something that happened. Historic investments. Historic bipartisan investments in infrastructure. And no matter who you are, and this is fundamental, Kamala Harris is out there fighting to make sure you have the freedom to make the choices about your life and your family, not government. Some of you are old enough to remember when Republicans used to talk about freedom, they meant it. Not these guys. This means the government should be free. Invade your doctor's office, invade your school library, even invade your bedroom. Let me say this too. It is weird as hell to think about other people's bedrooms. It is weird as hell. So look, we in Minnesota and Michigan across this country, we respect our neighbors for their personal choices. We might not make them. We might not make the same choice, but we respect them. That's for you to make, for me to make. In Minnesota, I've talked about this, and I think this is a national golden rule because I've talked about it. You know how society works best is when you mind your own damn business, things work better. Things work better. So we'll continue to talk about freedom.